Coming to you sort of live from the Beer to Whiskey studios on the floor of the... Coming to you sort of live from the Beer to Whiskey studios on the floor of the tap room of the Greenville Beer Exchange, or GBX as the cool kids call it, on Lawrence Street in wonderful downtown Greenville, South Carolina. I'm Russ Heaps, and welcome to this episode of Big Jon and Five, where my good buddy over here, Big Jon Richards, the beer whisperer at Beer to Whiskey, and he picks a beer from one of GBX's 22 or more taps, or hundreds of cans and bottles that are in the retail store up front, and we sniff them, we sip them, we kibitz about them. Sometimes John tells us about the brewery, and sometimes he gives us a little brewing history. And so with that magnificent
Glowing
introduction, John, what are we doing?
Well, this is fun. This is a pretty new brewery to us in South Carolina, and this is going to be a small one. I don't know that they go anywhere outside of South Carolina yet, but we just started getting them up here probably months ago, and they were brand new to me when they did. The first beer I had from them was basically a cold IPA, or like an India Pale Lager. Basically, they were brewing like a session IPA as a lager, because all they brew is lagers, and or as near as I can tell. Which I think is cool.
That's kind of the hard way to do it, isn't it?
It is the hard way to do it, especially if you're going to do it right. And so far, they've been doing it right. Most of everything that I've had from them so far, which admittedly has been either 2 or 3 beers. I can't remember for sure if I've had 3. I know I've had 2. This one is super exciting for me because they called it Super Pils, and that's one of the first the beer I remember first going, this might be something I want to do. Was next door at our dearly departed Barley's, and I was going with friends, and I was tolerating beer, and it was fine. I didn't go in search of beer, but when I found beer that I could drink, and so I was mostly ordering beer for the name. At this point, I'd pick a name that sounded interesting, and I would order that beer.
Sort of like going to the horse races and betting on the colors of the jockey silks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Got it.
Very similar. So I'm looking through the menu up there, and they had a beer up there called Small Craft Warning from a brewery called Heavy Seas. Like, Heavy Seas, Small Craft Warning. Like, that's
clever.
Amazing. That's the one
clever.
I'm getting. And it called itself an Uber Pils. And I was like, I don't know what that means. I know what Pilsner means, but I have no idea what Uber Pils means. So I ordered it, and that first sip, I was like, whoa. This is something I could actually, like, I want
did you
one
say
of these.
Did you say anything like blimey or
No,
there she blows?
that didn't
or?
come till much
Okay.
later, till after I got to know Josh and learned some of that lingo.
All righty then.
So this one, calling itself a Super Pils, makes me just want to try it. And because I've liked their beers so much, I wanted to give this one a try and see if they continue to...
I'm happy to be a guiney pig on this little mission of yours.
See if they continue to have a pretty stellar batting average here. So this is a 5.4%er, which in
Buddy.
That's Buddy. That's Buddy. That's go ahead.
Well, we've covered this before,
Okay.
but Buddy has been opening beer in my family for at least 70 years. So
Yeah.
he's a little worn around the edges, but still does a fine job.
Still does a fine job.
Soldiers on.
Yes. He's become a friend of the program.
Exactly. And he doesn't say anything, so that really makes me happy. Now, if I could only get John to follow suit.
Start paying me, I'll start shutting up.
Wow. That's
Something?
a threat. No, that's a...
So, the 5.4 on this is worth mentioning as a strong lager because in a lot of world beer sense, that's a very 5.4 is considered big beer. Here in the States, it's like 5.4. I'm barely going to be able to taste that.
Right.
But like, I remember it hitting home very much when I was in Prague. I went into this place. They only had two beers. They had a light beer and a strong beer. And the light beer was 4.4, I think, 4 point something. And the strong beer was 5.2. And I was like, wow, we're getting after it. We got some strong beer up in this place.
Yeah.
But that's the way it is. I mean, you're not sitting down and drinking a 7.5 or an 8 or a 13% beer. I mean, it's the quickest way to the floor.
Yep.
And sometimes that's great. I love drinking 2 beers and passing out just as much as the next guy, but I also enjoy sitting down and having a couple of beers with my friends and being able to get up and walk away. So
Sure.
there's a place for all of it. So let's taste this guy and see how they did. I'm excited for this.
Texas Miss Lily.
Cheers. With that same kind of spicy and like sharp kind of a nose to it that the Tipo did, but I don't smell the same herbal.
I've got a little bit of the grass going.
Oh, a little citrus in there too. There's actually a little bit of everything in there. There's a little citrus up front, and there's there's a very specific cereal. There's a cereal taste in the middle, and the
Fruit Loops.
the first thing that popped up into my head was Lucky Charms without the marshmallows.
That was close.
But what I think it probably is like Frosted Flakes or Corn Flakes. I don't know if they've used corn in this. They are well within their rights to do so, but there's a cereal something in there that's a sweetness in the middle. And then I get that grassy, more herbal kind of, like a tea-like kind of bitterness on the end of this. It's actually pretty mild, but it's just enough to dry it up. It lingers with a little bit of sweetness.
Yeah, it does.
That's interesting. I certainly don't dislike it. I think that it's probably a little sweeter than I would want for me. I would, if I'd ordered this in the bar, and it remains to be seen a little because I refuse to really pass judgment till I've sat down with something and had one. But I get the feeling that if I ordered this in the bar, I would drink it and go, okay, that was good. I want to try something different.
Right.
I don't want a second one of those. That's strictly personal taste. The balance is really nice on it. It just lingers a little sweet. And it's got that big, like, I want maybe, what's the, like if you got peaches and cream, what's the cream made out of? Do you know? Do you know what that is?
Milk is in there.
What's the grain that's in peaches and cream? It's not oatmeal, right?
I have no clue. Peaches and cream.
Yeah. I was fed peaches and cream as a child, and I hated it. And
Was it a cereal?
no, it's something that people in the North do, I think.
Well, I know what a peach is, and I know what cream is. I don't know what peaches and cream is, and if
It's
it's
got
not...
some kind of a grain in it, or something that turns it into something that has the texture of rice pudding.
Really?
Or not really. Thinner rice, like creamy, milky, like if you poured milk over rice pudding.
I can see why you didn't like it.
No,
It
it was-
doesn't even sound good, and I like peaches and I like cream.
I think it's something they do up north, and I had it as a kid, and I couldn't
Well, they do
stand
it wrong. Maybe they
and
do
I
it
still,
wrong.
But I can still taste that creamy, milky sweetness, and something about that is reminding me of like this peaches and cream thing.
I have a little critter in my,
That's right. He won't drink much.
I think. Maybe I'm just seeing a reflection.
Could be a bubble. Sometimes bubbles get in your beer, and if there's a bird's eye bubble in there, it makes it look like a bug, and there's not a bug there.
I don't think there is.
I haven't seen any flies flying around. That was a different
I haven't
store.
either. But, it could have been. So where's this brewery again?
So they're down in Charleston.
And the name again?
Bevi Bene. I'm not actually sure I even addressed that at the beginning. You'll be able to see it on the bottle, and you'll put it on the screen. It says Bevi Bene. They have a little tasting room just north of the bridge, the Cooper River Bridge, or the Ravenel Bridge, I think is what it's called down there now. And my friends did not deign to go to the lager brewery last time we were in Charleston a couple of months ago, and I was excited to get down there and actually see these guys' brewery, but sadly got to drive by it, see it from the outside, and didn't get to experience it from the inside. But it's a cute little spot. It's a little bit industrial from the outside, but it's like Mediterranean inspired decor and stuff, and it's a super cute spot. And of course, this lager brewery, and they make this a real effort on their website, their Facebook and stuff, to be like, drink well, take your time, just, that kind of aesthetic. It's neat. It's a cool spot. It's a good idea. I like that it's a lager brewery, and they're concentrating on one thing and seem to be doing it really well. So keep up the good work down there, guys.
Yeah, John's not that impressed with this, but apparently, but he likes the other ones he's had.
I do. It's not going to be my favorite beer. I know who this beer is for. It's just not for me.
Okay.
It's good. They did a great job.
All right. Anything else?
That's good.
I think he's done all the damage you can do here.
Cast all the aspersions I can cast.
Yes. So damn lucky. See you next time.